Hey guys, so if you couldn't tell by now, I was pretty much always getting in trouble in high school, and this is a story about probably the most sketched out I ever got because of this. Now, this is an incredibly long story because it took place over a couple of months, so bear with me here while I try and cover everything. But it all started over a year ago when I was at my friend's place and there were a couple people over, and we were just chilling in the basement, vibing, doing our thing, having a good old conversation. And there was this kid in my grade. We'll give him a name. We'll call him Stanley. And Stanley's sister was over at this place. And she starts going on about how her brother was going to, quote unquote, shoot up the school or, do some kind of terrorist attack at like this end of the year party or whatever. Now, I never believed Stanley to be the type to ever do something like this. I've known him for an incredibly long time, but his sister was going into some pretty insane, intricate detail about this whole thing. And I'm not going to get too into that, but basically the whole thing was enough to freak me out. So a couple of weeks go by and I'm at school with my two best friends. We get out of class and we're standing out front of the school. And I told my friends about what I had heard a couple of weeks before. And then they got all sketched out, and we were talking about what we would do if that ever happened. But the bell rang, and basically we all had to get back to class, so we did. And that was the last I'd ever heard of this thing. Until 6 fucking months later. Like 6 fucking months. How the fuck did this thing go on for that long? At that point, I'd literally forgotten about the whole thing. I didn't think much of it. But I was at my friend's house, a different one, and he said to me, "Alex, did you hear about Stanley planning to shoot up the school?" And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know about that? Because I'd never told him any of what happened before. And he said he had heard from some random kid who I hadn't told either. So I was just like, I wonder how he heard about that too. But another week goes by, chilling in my room, playing some CSGO, as we all do from time to time, when I hear a knock at my door. And that's pretty uncommon because no one comes to my house unless it's like my friends or my mom or something like that. But I didn't think much of it. I heard my dad go and open it, and about a minute or two later he calls me from downstairs. So I get out of my room and he says, "Alex, there's someone here for you." So I come down the stairs, I'm in my pajamas, turn the corner, and boom, a fucking cop standing in my hallway, staring me down like a fucking hawk. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what could I have done this time to have 12 come knocking at my door? But basically, I'm pretty sure this rumor had exploded, and it all ended up getting traced back to me somehow. And the cop was like, "Alex, you and I need to have a conversation about Stanley." And at first, I literally had no clue what he was talking about for a second. And then my brain went into rewind mode, and I had the biggest oh shit moment of my life. So I got dressed, and the cop put me in the back of his car. Meanwhile, all my neighbors are watching me and assuming I'm getting arrested. And I was just like, fuck, man, what am I gonna do? So there I was, driving to the police station in the back of this cop car. And I think this is an appropriate time to say I was shivering in my fucking boots. Alright, we get to the station, and he unloads me from the car, takes me inside into this like little waiting area, and then directs me into this like interview room. And it was this like really big, really bright room. There was like a desk, 2 chairs on one side, a chair on the other, and like 4 cameras all pointed at me, not to mention the 3 additional microphones they'd set up as well. Now, when I entered the room, my dad was already there because I was 17 at the time and still a kid, so my dad legally had to be there. But basically, the police thought I'd been spreading rumors about this kid, telling everyone at my school and shit. I'm just like, hell no, I don't run my mouth, man. And it turns out they'd already interviewed everyone else who was at this house when we had this conversation 6 months prior. But I told them everything I knew and what happened, and I honestly don't know what the other people said. I don't know if they pointed the finger at me, but I was pretty chopped because they were interviewing me last because all this shit could have been straightened out if they just asked me first. But I guess that's what happens when you have a last name that begins with the end of the alphabet. But anyways, the cop thankfully knew I was telling the truth. He had a couple of doubts for sure, and he probably thought I was holding back facts from him. But I told him everything I knew up to that point. And at the end, he said to me that if anything I said to him was false or proven wrong, or that I lied to him, or it turned out I was spreading false rumors, or even if I talked about it during the investigation or whatever, I could be arrested. And hearing that gets you freaked out even when you told him the truth, because who wants to get arrested, man? But they let me go with my dad, and they said they might come back to talk to me, which thankfully never happened. But now that I was done with the law, I had to go to school and deal with the consequences there now. This shit was the biggest double whammy, I swear to God. But this video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna split it into 2 parts. And it gets even weirder, guys, trust me. This isn't the end of it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the second part. This is definitely one of the closer encounters I've had before. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Follow my SoundCloud. Don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, see you guys all in the next one. Peace.
I wanna sleep, I wanna close my eyes, I just wanna lay with you tonight. Can't sleep on myself. I don't wanna dream, I don't wanna lose sight, I just wanna